Have you ever imagined that a tiny penny sitting in your pocket or resting in an old jar somewhere in your house could actually be worth millions of dollars and turn your ordinary day into the luckiest day of your life? Because today we are diving into the incredible story and breathtaking details of the 1971 D Mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, a coin that might look simple, brownish, small, and often overlooked. But when you understand its history, the rare errors, the minting details, and the incredible collector's passion behind it, you will see how this little piece of copper-plated zinc has risen to a legendary status in the numismatic world and is valued at a staggering $5 million, making it not just money but a dream for every collector and a treasure hidden in plain sight. And the best part is that many people might still have it unknowingly without realizing the fortune that rests in their drawers. Coin rolls, or forgotten jars, so stick with me as I reveal every layer of this fascinating story where rarity, history, era patterns, and collector demand all collide to make one of the smallest denominations in American history hold one of the largest price tags ever recorded, because the 1971 D penny was struck in Denver during a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins to keep up with growing circulation needs. Yet among these billions, a handful turned out to have unique mistakes that changed their destiny forever. Some were double die obverse strikes where the words liberty and in God we trust appear doubled under magnification. Others have repunched mint marks where the D was stamped more than once, creating a shadow-like doubling, while some show off center strikes, broad strikes, or planchet errors that make them stand out instantly. And collectors know that such errors are not only rare but also historically significant, as they tell the story of human error in a mechanical process that is supposed to be perfect. And whenever imperfection enters the world of coinage, value skyrockets, because rarity plus demand always equals fortune, and the 1971 D penny combines both in an explosive way. For example, the few specimens discovered with perfect double die errors are considered the holy grail of Lincoln cents. And auctions have proven time and time again that serious collectors are willing to spend not just thousands but millions of dollars for such a piece, turning it into a dream coin that can change someone's financial destiny. And what makes it more thrilling is that unlike larger denomination coins, people rarely check their pennies carefully, meaning that the possibility of still finding a 1971 D worth millions in everyday circulation is not a fantasy but a very real chance. And this is why treasure hunters, collectors, and even casual hobbyists keep a sharp eye on every cent they come across, hoping to stumble upon that once-in-a-lifetime discovery. But the story does not end there, because the history of the Lincoln cent itself adds depth to the value of this coin. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln cent replaced the Indian head penny and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, symbolizing honor, leadership, and America's democratic ideals. And over decades it has evolved from a wheat reverse design to the memorial reverse introduced in 1959, and later to the shield reverse in 2010. But the 1971 D penny falls within the memorial design era, carrying with it not only Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile on the obverse but also the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which itself has a hidden design detail where if you magnify carefully you can see the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, something most people never notice, and details like these make the coin even more fascinating for collectors. Now imagine combining such historical background with errors and rarity, and you get a perfect recipe for a multi-million-dollar treasure. And when we break down why collectors assign such insane value to a single coin, it comes down to three major factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity refers to how few rare specimens exist among the billions minted. Condition refers to the coin's grade, which ranges from circulated to uncirculated mint state, with higher grades commanding astronomical premiums. And demand refers to the passionate hunger among collectors worldwide who want to own a piece of history no matter the price. And when all three align, you get valuations that break records, which is exactly what happened with the 1971 D penny, where one auction saw a pristine era specimen go for millions, shocking not only the coin collecting community but also the general public, making headlines and fueling a surge of interest in Lincoln pennies. And today many experts believe that as more people discover coin collecting and as rare specimens become scarcer, the value of the 1971 D will continue to rise, possibly even surpassing its already unbelievable $5 million mark in the future. And think about it. What other investment allows you to potentially hold in your hand a tiny object that cost only 1 cent to make yet can appreciate into millions? This is why coin collecting is not just a hobby but also an investment strategy. And the 1971 D penny is the perfect example of why people dedicate their lives to searching, learning, and trading coins, because at any moment that ordinary penny in your hand could be the jackpot. And if you really want to understand the magic of this coin, picture a minting machine in Denver in 1971 churning out thousands of pennies per minute, the dies striking again and again. But then imagine one die misaligned or one mint mark stamped twice. Suddenly a new variety is born, unnoticed at first, tossed into bags, shipped to banks, circulated into the economy, and only decades later discovered by a sharp-eyed collector who realizes the treasure they are holding. That's the kind of accidental magic that turns metal into millions. And stories like these inspire generations of collectors to keep searching, to keep learning, and to never underestimate the power of a penny, because the 1971 D penny proves that size does not matter, value is not in weight but in rarity, history, and demand. And today the dream of owning such a coin continues to spark excitement worldwide, so if you are holding on to old coins, dig them out, examine them carefully, look for the doubling on liberty, check for mint mark irregularities, study the edges for off-center strikes, because your future fortune might be hiding in plain sight. And while you are at it, remember that sharing this knowledge with others spreads awareness and inspires more people to join this incredible journey of numismatics where history and fortune meet. So always treasure your pennies, respect the stories they carry, and never stop searching, because the next multimillion-dollar discovery might be closer than you think. And before you go, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more unbelievable stories of coins that look ordinary but are worth extraordinary fortunes, because together we will keep unlocking the secrets of the small coins that hold big money in history. Next, 1982 1 cent USA coin. Imagine for a moment that you walk into your kitchen, reach for a jar filled with old change, spill it onto the table, and among the hundreds of common pennies your eyes fall upon one that looks no different from the rest, small, copper-colored, maybe a little worn. And yet this tiny coin has the power to transform your life because it is one of the most legendary, mysterious, and valuable pennies in American history, the 1982 no mint mark 1 cent coin, a coin so unique and so deeply embedded in the numismatic world that collectors worldwide whisper its name like a legend, a coin that has reached a valuation of $3 million not simply because it exists but because of the extraordinary story that surrounds it, the minting changes that occurred during 1982, the confusion and chaos of metal composition transitions, and the sheer rarity that came from a minting error that has never been replicated in quite the same way. Because to truly understand why this penny is worth such unimaginable sums, we need to dive into the year 1982 itself, a year of monumental change for the U.S. Mint, a year when the composition of the Lincoln cent shifted from the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy to a new copper-plated zinc composition consisting of 97.5% zinc and only a thin 2.5% copper coating. And this change was no small event because copper prices had soared, making it cost more than a penny to mint a penny, which meant the government needed to take action to save money, and so 1982 became the transition year, producing not just one but multiple varieties of pennies, including large date and small date designs, copper and zinc compositions, with and without mint marks, and this explosion of varieties set the stage for one of the greatest coin rarities of all time. Because in all of this production frenzy in Philadelphia, where no mint marks were placed on coins, a few cents slipped out in the wrong composition, or struck with the wrong dies, creating the ultra-rare 1982 no mint mark penny that collectors now chase like buried treasure. And what makes it even more captivating is that for most people the differences are invisible at first glance. You have to measure the weight, you have to study the date style, you have to examine under magnification, because 1982 cents exist in both small date and large date varieties, with copper weighing 3.11 grams and zinc weighing 2.5 grams, and when the wrong planchet was fed into the coining press the result was a mismatch that today is priceless, And imagine the odds, billions of pennies produced that year, yet only a handful have been identified as this rare variety, making it scarcer than most people could ever dream. And that scarcity translates directly into millions at auction, because when two collectors battle over owning a piece of history, the price goes into the stratosphere. And this is exactly why one of these 1982 no-mint mark rarities fetched millions, shocking the coin collecting world and forever cementing its status as one of the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. But beyond the numbers lies the deeper magic of this coin, because the 1982 penny tells the story of change, of economic pressures, of government decisions, of technological transitions in minting, and of human error. Because every rare coin is born out of some imperfection or unusual circumstance that makes it stand apart from the rest. And the 1982 no-mint mark penny is the embodiment of that idea. It is the coin that slipped through unnoticed. It is the survivor of a chaotic year in minting history. It is the ghost in the machine that collectors spend their lives hunting. And think about how thrilling that is. Because this means that even today someone could unknowingly be spending one of these pennies at the store, sliding it across a counter, receiving it in change, and never realizing that they just exchanged a $3 million fortune for a candy bar. And that is why treasure hunters across the United States meticulously check every 1982 penny they find, weighing them, inspecting the date style, looking for that magic combination that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. And this is not just obsession but passion fueled by the fact that real people have discovered such rarities. Regular individuals who one day wake up to find that the little penny they held for years is actually a life-changing fortune. And let us not forget that the Lincoln cent itself carries enormous historical weight, having first appeared in 1909 with Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, America's beloved president, symbol of freedom, leadership, and resilience. And over decades it has remained one of the most collected coins in the world, a coin that everyone touches, a coin that connects generations. And yet within this ocean of common circulation exist islands of rarity like the 1982 no-mint mark penny, islands so small but so powerful that they dominate headlines, spark debates, and drive collectors wild. And when we think about why a small cent can command $3 million, it comes back to the holy trinity of numismatics: rarity, demand, and story. And the 1982 no-mint mark penny has all three in abundance. It is rare beyond comprehension, with only a few specimens confirmed. It has demand that stretches across the globe because Lincoln cents are universally beloved, and it has a story rooted in one of the most important transitions in U.S. mint history, making it irresistible to serious collectors. And so auction after auction the price rises, the legend grows, and the dream of finding one becomes more intoxicating, because unlike gold coins locked away in vaults or special proofs only given to dignitaries, this penny is something you could find in your pocket, a millionaire's treasure disguised as loose change. And that possibility makes it viral, makes it inspiring, makes it the stuff of legends, and as time passes and fewer examples appear, the value will only continue to climb, maybe one day breaking past the $3 million mark and setting new records. And perhaps the most incredible part of this story is that 1982 pennies are everywhere, billions of them minted, meaning billions of chances for someone to stumble upon the right one, which is why coin hunting has become not just a hobby but a treasure hunt. A way for ordinary people to connect with history and fortune at the same time, and that is why the 1982 no-mint mark penny has captivated the world. It is not just a coin, it is a legend. It is proof that sometimes the most ordinary things in life hold the most extraordinary value, and as long as pennies circulate, the dream of finding one will live on. So keep searching, keep looking, keep weighing, because your next handful of change could be the jackpot that changes everything. And if this story has inspired you, if you now feel the thrill of the hunt and the passion of numismatics, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us for more incredible stories of how small coins hold big money in history. Because the 1982 no-mint mark penny worth $3 million is just one chapter in the endless treasure hunt that connects us all. Next, 1994 1-cent USA coin. Have you ever thought that one of the simplest, most overlooked objects you handle every single day could secretly hold the power to make you a millionaire overnight? because hidden among the billions of coins circulating in pockets, wallets, and cash registers across America lies one of the most shocking treasures in modern numismatic history. The 1994 no-mint mark USA 1-cent coin, a coin that may appear so ordinary, so plain, and so unremarkable that most people wouldn't give it a second glance, yet for the few lucky enough to recognize what they are holding, this coin represents an unimaginable fortune of $2 million, and the story behind it is one that blends history, error, rarity, and the unstoppable passion of collectors into one of the most mind-blowing legends of the Lincoln Penny series. Because to truly understand the magic of the 1994 no-mint mark cent, you have to picture the mid-1990s, a time when billions of pennies were being minted annually, each designed to be nearly identical, struck by the U.S. Mint with precision. But despite the advanced technology in coin production, mistakes still happened, and it is within these mistakes that collectors find treasure. Because while a normal 1994 penny is worth face value, just 1 cent, a small handful of error coins produced without a mint mark have changed the game entirely. Because the Philadelphia Mint, which normally does not place a mint mark on circulating coins, still has strict die preparation and quality control, yet in 1994 something slipped through, creating pennies that carried anomalies so rare that their existence immediately set them apart. Some were double die obverse errors where the inscriptions like Liberty or I in God We Trust showed distinct doubling under magnification. Others were struck on transitional planchets with weight and metal composition that did not belong to 1994, and most importantly, the absence of proper die alignment or subtle strike errors meant that these coins were not just mistakes but one-of-a-kind rarities, and when even a single coin of this kind surfaces in pristine condition, it becomes the centerpiece of an auction, commanding staggering prices as wealthy collectors battle to own the unattainable, pushing bids higher and higher until the coin finally hammers at a figure that makes headlines. And this is how the 1994 no-mint mark penny reached its legendary $2 million valuation, because the principle of supply and demand in numismatics is simple. When billions of regular coins exist but only a handful of errors survive, the rarity is multiplied by demand, and the price rockets into millions. And let's not forget that the Lincoln cent itself carries an unmatched place in American history, having first been issued in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and never leaving circulation since. It is not just a coin but a cultural symbol, with its obverse portrait sculpted by Victor David Brenner serving as a constant reminder of Lincoln's legacy of leadership and freedom, and the reverse design evolving from wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, and eventually the Union Shield in 2010, so the 1994 penny sits firmly within the Lincoln Memorial era, carrying with it decades of historical weight. And hidden within that familiar design is the possibility of error, of imperfection, of fortune, because when you magnify the details, when you study the minting history, you realize how easily an error can slip by unnoticed into circulation, and that's exactly what makes coin hunting such an exhilarating passion, because unlike luxury investments locked behind vaults or stock market numbers flashing on a screen, a coin like the 1994 no-mint mark penny is something real, tangible, and accessible, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc weighing just 2.5 grams. Small enough to hide in your palm, yet powerful enough to change your destiny. And just imagine the stories of discovery, an ordinary person sorting through rolls of pennies from the bank, or a child checking change from a vending machine, suddenly noticing something odd about the coin in their hand, sending it for evaluation, and then realizing that they are now holding a $2 million treasure, the kind of life-changing moment that keeps collectors searching tirelessly, because the dream of finding such a coin is not fantasy but reality. Backed by real auction results where similar rarities have broken records, and beyond the financial value lies the thrill of holding a piece of minting history, a mistake that should not exist but does, a survivor of the relentless quality control of the U.S. Mint, and that contradiction is what makes the 1994 no-mint mark penny legendary, and experts in numismatics agree that as time goes on and fewer error coins are discovered in circulation, the value of such rarities will only rise, meaning today's $2 million valuation might one day be eclipsed, making the hunt even more urgent for those who believe their fortune might be sitting unnoticed in a jar of pennies at home. And when you think about it, the story of this coin is also a lesson about life, that sometimes the smallest, most overlooked things carry the greatest power, that imperfection can create value, and that treasures often hide in plain sight. And so, whether you are a seasoned collector with years of experience, or someone just now realizing the thrill of numismatics, the 1994 Mint Mark penny is proof that opportunity exists everywhere, even in your pocket change, and this is why coin collecting has exploded in popularity, why videos, articles, and auctions dedicated to rare pennies go viral, because the combination of history, money, and mystery is irresistible, and every story of discovery inspires thousands more to start searching, creating a community bound together by curiosity and passion. And in that community, the 1994 Mint Mark penny stands as a shining beacon, a legend that continues to grow. And so, as you hear this story, let it remind you that your next handful of change could contain the jackpot, that pennies are not just small copper-plated discs but potential keys to fortune, and that the next great treasure may already be in your possession. And with that, if you've enjoyed this incredible journey into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for even more unbelievable stories of small coins with big money in history, because the adventure of discovery never ends, and the 1994 Mint Mark penny worth $2 million is only the beginning of what might be hiding in your change jar right now.